This painting, it's about hope, it's about life, it's about living post-Vietnam. It's a painting that speaks about the loneliness and the fright and the fear of being in combat, represented figuratively by these punjai pit. But in the painting, looking up from the punjai pit, there's a moon that calls the viewer as it calls me, and there's these flowers that are very exotic and alluring, and these tropical palm fronds that reach into the hole and call, that elevates the light and the view onto the sky, onto the firmament, full of hope and possibility, and away from the mess, away from the bloody trails, away from the disenchantment that the individual suffers during combat. I hope this painting appeals to everybody or to anybody, not just necessarily the veteran, because there's a message of hope, and it's important to me, and I believe to all of us.
I think
enjoy it.
But do you want to talk about a little bit about the symbology of certain things in this picture?
Okay.
Because a lot of people miss that or don't necessarily catch that.
Okay, so I'll address the symbols. The symbols in the painting are very important to me. All of my paintings have a story to tell, and it's told through symbols. The moon is positive space in my paintings. Positive space is a space solid, earth, life-giving, where life comes from. And in my paintings, there's always a balance between positive space and negative space, a space of the sky, ideas, concepts, male space. Here, the positive space is the moon, is what we reach for, because the pit, it's dark, there's no ground, it's lack of light, it's dark. And light here is also negative space. So there's a conversation between being alive and ideas, a lot of reflection. And out of that reflection comes a symbol of Vietnam. There's 3 lines at the bottom of the painting that refer to the 3 red lines in the flag of the old Republic of South Vietnam. And these 3 lines in this color, oxblood color, trail onto this form and shape, which culminates in this series of 50 spots of the same color and emerging from the trail of blood and from other paintings done previously. This is a symbol of the great American flag, a flag that I love, a flag that I've offered my life to serve, a flag that means so much. And it's part of the painting because it's part of the experience of the war. It speaks about transformation. It speaks about leaving the pain and reaching for glory, reaching for life. I'm lucky that as a painter I can do that.
I think you did it pretty well there with this. I love the orchids.
Yeah, the orchids are very alluring.
I love the whole painting, to be honest with you, but each piece is very striking.
And there's a lot of very subtle symbolism in the painting. I am going to point it out to you. There's a triangle that goes, you can see one line here.
Okay, I can.
See this line?
Yep.
And it goes down to here, and it comes to the flag, and the triangle starts here. So triangle in scientific nomenclature has always been a symbol for change. And this very subtle triangle here directs the view of directs the eye of the viewer to the American flag, hoping that it will raise a question: what are those dots? What do they represent? Another symbol that's in this painting is the Southern Star, and you can see it here. It's camouflage in the colors of army, the greens of the army, and it's camouflage against the firmament, but it's there, the Southern Star. And that speaks about my experience being able to see that constellation, that formation in Vietnam. That anchors this painting in my experience of Vietnam and in our history as a country during that war in that place. The orchids are a feminine symbol in this painting, and again, feminine symbols in the painting seek balance with the male symbols in the paintings. I believe that there is enough balance between the two of them to provide a good balance in the composition and in the interest and the color of the painting between light and dark. There's a lot of symbolism here, and we could explore these in much more depth. But for now, I think that it's sufficient to say.
Well, thank you very much for talking about your painting.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful work. I appreciate it. But it's just so striking, the whole thing.
I particularly like the way the light reflects on the dark, forming this very esoteric illumination, and how the light works to affirm the sense of the pit by pulling on these jagged corners and extending it into the ground and providing a sense of direction against the light provided by its reflection on the moon. That completes another triangle that is larger than this triangle that I spoke about earlier, a larger triangle in life between the sun, the moon, and the earth.